We're here in Strasbourg to witness one of the most absurd examples of EU waste. The monthly move of EU Parliament from Brussels to Strasbourg. 4 days every month, the EU Parliament literally packs up its bags, with thousands of bureaucrats, officials and translators, and thousands of boxes of paperwork transported 300 miles to this lavish building and is empty more than 300 days of the year. It's estimated that 5,000 people arrive for the 4-day parliamentary meetings. A private firm is hired to move these thousands of boxes of paperwork from Strasbourg to Brussels every month. These are the trucks that are going to be packed full of paperwork. They're just arriving now to be loaded and taking the 4-hour journey back to Brussels. Look at the size of that. Nothing inside it. They are... you're not allowed to film, apparently. Can you see that? She's telling us not to film. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. So we've just been asked to move on. Everyone seems really tetchy that we're filming empty lorries. Now, why would they be upset about that? And the cost of this move? Well, it's a lot. Some figures put it at £130 million a year. That's 50 million spent on building maintenance alone. In total, this farce cost nearly £2 billion since it started. With all these lorries, cars, trains and planes, what does this mean to the environment? Well, for an EU obsessed with climate change, embarrassingly, this move creates over 10,000 tonnes of CO2, which is equivalent to 12,000 cars driving around the globe. So why do we have these moves every month? Well, Strasbourg is the official seat of the EU Parliament, as bound by a treaty. And in order to change that treaty, all 28 member states need to agree. So France veto any changes. And they do this not just to seem more important in the EU, but because the vast sums of money these moves bring to this region every month. So we're travelling through France, following a convoy of lorries on their way to Brussels. This is a great visible example of EU waste. Lorries driving back and forth. One can only imagine the unseen waste that goes on within the EU, money that could probably be better spent elsewhere. If you ever needed an example of EU waste and how the EU can't be reformed, a real world example of where your money is actually going, then this is it. The idea of the Strasbourg Parliament was one of peace and reconciliation. Now it's a symbol of EU waste and stupidity, demonstrating perfectly everything wrong with the EU. The money the EU spends moving this Parliament could go towards providing more schools, or better supplies for our armed forces, or to your local NHS hospital. That's why you need to vote leave on the 23rd of June.